Welcome, everybody. I'm Maggie Kaspersky. I'm the Director of Communications and Marketing here at ASHTO, and I am the lucky one who gets to be the liaison to the ASHTO Committee on Communications, or TransComm. This webinar today, we're excited to have you here. It's more of a conversation than a webinar, which we're going to try to do every quarter or so moving forward. As most of you know, TransComm's mission is to facilitate the sharing of best practices among state DOTs, so these kinds of conversations are perfect for that. The membership of this committee is comprised of the top communications officials from each of the 52 ASHTO member departments, appointed by each state DOT CEO. But we have hundreds of friends of TransComm, which are both folks within state DOTs that maybe haven't been appointed to the official committee, but also folks from the private sector and other public entities. So everybody's welcome to this webinar series. Among other activities, TransComm hosts an annual meeting that focuses on these best practices and state-to-state collaboration and professional development. TransComm this year, as many of you know, will be held in Chicago, September 21st through 24th. We have the program pretty much set. As Kenna told me, that's only 66 days away, which is frightening, but also exciting. So now's the time to get your trip scheduled, especially your hotel, even if you're on the fence on whether or not you're getting approved to go from your state. I would book the hotel as soon as possible if you can, because that you can cancel if you aren't able to come. You can find the registration link on TransComm's website, which is transportation.org/communications, or reach out to me for more info. This webinar series is where we highlight the great work done by our state DOT communications offices and share these best practices that I've already talked about multiple times. And it's open to anybody. So again, forward these invites along to anyone you think might learn something from this or be interested in it. This presentation, like all our webinars, is being recorded and will be uploaded to the TransComm website. So now I'm going to turn things over to Kenna Mitchell, our Professional Development Subcommittee Chair with the Texas Department of Transportation. So Kenna, please.
Thanks, Maggie. Howdy, everyone from Texas. As Maggie mentioned, we are mixing things up today. We've done this before on some webinars, and we're hoping to bring it back. But basically, it's going to be an open discussion. And this month, it's social media for the topic. So we want you to feel free, share a social media post or some advice, lessons learned, steal anything that you want. It's all open. We're going to, again, with the open format, just raise your hand. We'll come to you, or sorry, raise your virtual hand and we'll come to you, or drop your name in the chat, and we'll just keep going until we are all done. One note, if you do plan on sharing a video that has sound, when you go to click share and you click the share screen button, select the screen or window you want to share, then click share computer sound before clicking share. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to hear your wonderful work. So with that, to badly quote Ferris Bueller, I don't know if we can see this. See, I'm already having problems with the share. Boom. Social media moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it. And that is something we definitely learned here at TxDOT recently. We were covering a bridge demolition, and we were right in the middle of editing our video when we stopped, looked around, and found that Utah DOT had also been covering a bridge demolition. They had just posted, were bragging about how they did a bridge demolition in 40 seconds. So that caused us to retool our approach. And let me share real quick with that. Sorry, too many screens to share here. So we did a video in 30 seconds highlighting ours. We tagged Utah DOT, had a little bit of fun with it, talking about how the great state of Texas does ours even faster. And we got a tremendous amount of views, likes, shares with this video. But of course, in the caption, we also said, great job, Utah. Want to make sure, we acknowledge that. We're all one big team, all big, one DOT at the end of the day. So that is something that we just had a little bit of fun with there. So with that too, I think Utah DOT is on here. So this is a great little segue over to them. They are some social media powerhouses if you haven't checked them out. So let's see, Elizabeth or Amy, are you on?
Hi, Kenna. Yeah, I'm here.
Hi, Amy. We can see you, but we can't hear you. Oh, wait.
I can hear her.
Can
Okay,
you
we
hear me
can hear
now?
her. Yes, there you go.
Okay. Okay, great. Well, thank you. Thanks for that little shout out, Kenna, too. It's always so fun when we can share ideas. And back to what you were saying, I think that's one of the really great things about, I mean, government in general, but specifically our fellow transportation folks is we're in a very similar industry, but we're not competitors. And so there's a lot of collaboration and cross sharing that we can all do and learn from each other. And I know that we learn a lot from other people as well. And so feel free to always take away any ideas that we share. I was just going to share a format that we've been using recently that's been working really well. Can I share a screen? Is that okay? Okay, let's see. I have a gajillion tabs open, so don't comment on that. But I wanted to share this one because I feel like it's the easy one to mimic. And I know Rachel Turlip, Washington DOT is on here, and shout out to them because they've done a similar format and gave us a shout out as well. So appreciate that always. But one thing we always struggle with is just taking our everyday work, the stuff our crews are doing all the time, that's really simple, and making it something that's interesting for other people and our audience to pay attention to slash see. Because you can, as we all know, if you just post photos of fixing potholes, every once in a while, maybe that does pretty good, but sometimes that format just gets old after a little bit. And we found a lot of success with a hard hat cat or a hard hat animal of some sort, and we kind of pretend that this cat is the boss. For our audience as well, we have like a 60-40% male between the ages of like 18 to 34. So we have a very specific audience, and this is something that they really like. So I'd also just encourage you to take a look at your audience and what kind of format maybe speaks to them. But this was what we did. We pretend the cat is the boss and he's telling you to clock in for your shift. And then we kind of take people through a carousel and pretend that they are a part of the team and that they're doing this work. So it gets your audience involved. It's very interactive. It's almost like gamifying the stuff. And so, the shift is all they have to do is swipe. So in this case, they would swipe to clean, and then they go through it and they swipe and they feel like they actually did something. It's kind of silly. We put some silly stuff in the middle. But then we always share a message. We want to stay on message. And the message is that uh, this is real work that our crews do every day. And it's great if it can be timely. So we love to say, this is work our crews did this week. And that's it. That's our little social media win for the last couple months. We've been doing that format. It's been very successful.
Thanks, Amy. And just out of curiosity, uh, you post a lot on Instagram. I'm wondering how are followers on Instagram? It looked like you had quite a few from what I saw.
Yeah, Instagram is our most engaged and biggest audience. And so we do prioritize it in terms of content. We try to prioritize reels and carousels that perform the best on Instagram. We do try to optimize for Facebook and other platforms when we can. But Instagram is, because it's our most engaged audience, we reach the most people. So we do optimize there. We have about 200, we hit 200,000 the other day. So that was a fun win as well.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Now, I'm
It's
not
amazing
seeing
because
a
I
lot of
know.
hands up here to
Oh,
follow
sorry.
that.
I was just gonna say at Ashto, that seems Instagram is our hardest one to get off the ground and to build. So I find that really interesting. And Amy, I'm gonna call you up for more questions on that later. I did see another hand, kind of Tony, or I don't know if he was like applauding Amy or Tony, you wanted to share something?
No, just applauding.
Okay,
Sorry about
great.
that.
No, that's okay. We love that too.
Well, Maggie, we can voluntold Tila Grant here in my
Oh,
office. I
well,
have,
Rachel just raised her hand.
oh, Rachel just beat out. Okay.
I was just trying to beat Amy
Rachel.
to it since it looks like Amy was voluntolding me in the chat.
Ah,
Hi, I'm Rachel Turlip. I am with the Washington State Department of Transportation. You might know us as WashDOT or WSDOT or different pronunciations that are all wrong. So hi, I'm here to talk to you about a recent one of ours, very recent one of ours lately. So this upcoming weekend, we are closing our most highly traveled highway in our largest metro area. I-5 northbound is going to be shut down in Seattle all weekend. So part of our social media strategy was to diversify the way that we delivered that message. And we wanted to post a different piece of creative on each platform. The idea there is that you go to Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and then some Twitter thread stuff too, and you'll see a different piece of content on at least those three platforms. The idea there is that we figure that there's a significant overlap in people who follow us on Facebook, but then also follow us on Instagram, and then maybe also follow us on TikTok. And the idea was to give them the same message delivered differently so that, if you see the same graphic in all three places, your eyes kind of glaze over. It doesn't really register because you've already seen it. But if you see the same message delivered three different ways, maybe it sticks, or maybe it sticks a little extra hard. So I was gonna, two of these are videos. I don't know, it gets kind of clunky sharing videos. I'm happy to drop the links in, but I'll at least share my screen so you can see what the different posts look like. But yeah, again, the idea is that, we have similar audiences across platforms. If you see the same message delivered in different ways, maybe it sticks with you a little bit more. And I will say that we posted these 2 days ago. I think between the three platforms I mentioned, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook, we're at about 2.7 million views or impressions overall. So message is getting out there, which is great. So I'm going to share my screen, and I did a tab reduction after Amy called out her tab. So I didn't want to be caught in that. This is a very short amount of tabs or small amount of tabs for what I usually have. So let
do you
me
have sound on
do I
anything?
have, yeah, the videos have sound, and I'm a little like, I don't know if it's the best idea to share it because
No,
of
no,
that.
you can. It's just when you hit share, you should, before you finalize the share, you can change the sound option so that um, that we can hear the sound through Zoom.
Okay. Okay. So I will go to share sound. There you go. There
There
you
you
go.
go.
Cool, cool, cool. Okay. You should be seeing an Instagram post right now. Does everybody see this?
Yes.
Cool. And look at our buddies down there. Thanks, Amy. So this is one of the videos we created, and this was very much created on the fly. I think if we had more time, it would be a little bit more polished, but I'm going to refresh it just in case it's a few seconds into it. So here's, oh,
Cute animals release endorphins. I got you. Watch this while I tell you this weekend we'll be closing all northbound lanes of I-5 between I-90 and Northeast 45th to revive I-5.
so that little snippet at the end there is actually what we ended up sharing, and I have to shrink my screen a little bit to get out of the little share tab here. That is what we ended up, oh my God, I can't. Every time I try to click on it, the little screen share thing pops up. So this is what we ended up sharing on Facebook, just the graphic, because we realized that on Facebook, videos don't do as well as Reels or TikToks do. People kind of like that information right there in a shareable, like easy to read format. This is kind of a riff on our paint maps that we tend to do, again, using animals and hard hats. So again, shout out to you, Dot. But this is, again, I'm kind of getting off topic here, but this is what our paint maps typically look like. We post these about once a week during the summertime. It's people demand that we post all of our information in this way, so we try to. But for this specific closure, we took a little paint map riff. We said that because this is a big closure, we wanted to really add in so many more animals, several orders of magnitude more animals in hard hats to soften the blow. And so again, got a lot of really good feedback on this. And then for TikTok, instead of creating original content with a WashDOT employee on screen or creating a little shareable graphic, the TikTok style was just a standard template. And then, of course, as always, because it was the easiest post, it has the most views so far. So it's just this little template where we put a picture of the closure and this girl's panicking. And like I say, that one of course did the best because it took the least amount of work. But yeah, that's just kind of our practice to diversify the way we share so people can have the same information delivered different ways.
Totally stealing. Totally stealing. That was awesome. Thank you, Rachel. Let's see. I was going to volunteer Tila. Tila, can you share?
Hi, everyone. Yes, I can share. I'm not probably going to share a video, but I can just talk like generally about something that we've been finding success in. And that is, I think that our team does a good job of kind of jumping on some of the trendy things. So some of the trends that we see on TikTok or other Instagram posts, we definitely have been trying to recreate those things. And those are usually our posts that definitely do the best, whether we use the sound or if we use some overlay text on screen. Those are definitely more of our popular ones, bringing in some of our younger audience and doing really well. And so we mix that up usually with other content as well. I like what the last person just said about varying our content per platform. But we also are varying our content on Instagram as well, from jumping back and forth from those trends, as well as kind of highlighting some of the things that our crews are doing out and about. And yeah, like I say, so definitely jumping on some of those trends, whether it be repeating some sound, using some of the text, or even using some of the trending audio has definitely been really good for us.
Thanks, Tila.
I'm with Texas DOT.
See, Maggie, do you see? Randall, you're next.
Hi. How's everybody doing?
Good. You're a little quiet.
Every time. Why? All right. How about now?
Better.
Okay. I also run some of the AV stuff for the Maine Department of Transportation, and I manage to do this every single time. So, but yes, I'm my position's photographer at Maine DOT, but I also handle some of our social media. Down below, Andrew Gobiel is our new director of communications, so he's joining as well. I wanted to bring up one post that we did that I will share my screen right now. This was a post that got put together while I was trying to do something else. I had 5-minute splurts at my computer, so I just started assembling it, and it did far better than anticipated. So I think the lesson I learned is that I just need to do most of my work in 5-minute spurts and take the rest of the day off. So I'll make sure that I have my audio actually playing here. Share the sound. There we go. All right. So this reached 1.7 million views on Facebook, and I will play this now. So pretty simple, pretty short. The message is basically, I don't know if it's true for everybody else's. If you see one deer on the road here, there's most likely a few more hiding somewhere. I think what ended up being successful about this post is the jump scare, which we posted this around Halloween, so that's where the idea had kind of come from. But I think people enjoyed being able to share a piece of information, but also enjoyed being able to share their family or scare their family and friends. So I think that is what allowed it to grow as quickly as it did. And I think at the time we hadn't posted anything quite like that. So I think the change in tone was kind of shocking to our audience. And that also helped propel it a bit.
Love it. Thank you for sharing that.
Yes.
Maggie, do you see any other hands up, or are we going to voluntold some folks?
Anybody else ready to share something cool? Doesn't have to be a full presentation, just something neat that you all, or something that you're really proud of from social. Doesn't even have to be something you did, maybe something your team did. And just like Teal, you can just talk about it. Yep. Siobhan?
Hi, everybody. And also, oh my gosh, thank you so much for saying that correctly. I always really appreciate that.
Of course.
That was amazing. So I'm Siobhan Gordon. I'm the social media coordinator at Minnesota DOT. I'm going to share my screen. I have two very quick ones, but we did these recently, and forgive me, I don't use Zoom that much, and I don't feel like much of a millennial when I try and get through this. There we go. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Perfect. So this is one we did recently. It's very simple. It was just on Instagram, and we sort of built the idea off of if everybody saw a lot of government employees were putting on social media like action figures when they use ChatGPT to create action figures for like your standard employee at their agencies and things like that. So we built a Labubu off of that, and we just put it in our Instagram stories. That way it would vanish after 24 hours. It doesn't exist forever in our feed, but it was surprisingly well received. Of course, we just chose Instagram because that is the audience most likely to understand what Labubu is for us. I don't think it would have done as well on Facebook, but very simple messaging about please slow down in work zones, keep our crews safe. And even our lieutenant governor liked it, which was a huge win for us when we saw that. And then a very quick other one that I have, and let me see, are you able to see if I switch my screen?
We are.
Okay, perfect. And so this is very simple. World Turtle Day was on May 23rd, if anybody needs to know that for future reference. But of course, you got to be careful about turtles trying to cross the road. This was a snapper that one of my coworkers was actually rehabbing at his home. So he was able to get a very safe photo. No turtles were harmed in the making of this image, but it was a good opportunity for us because we were able to sort of partner with the Department of Natural Resources here in Minnesota and actually link out to their content about how to help a turtle cross the road safely. And the reason I wanted to share it is because it was so immensely positive in the comments, which, as many here probably understand, it's kind of hard to get immensely positive comment sections all the time. And so it was really lovely. Everybody just talking about, yes, be careful of the turtles. I see this all the time. I'm always willing to stop and help. And of course, on Facebook, we got about 2,700 reactions, 224 comments, and 769 shares, which was phenomenal. And I'm actually kind of hoping to dig into some data and see how the numbers fare this year in comparison to last year and see if there might be any slowdown in turtles that have gotten hurt trying to cross the road. But yeah, very simple, but they were really fun to post and nice to see. So we wanted to share them.
What I love about that is that sometimes you think you have all the days, right? Like you make your editorial calendars and you see what days fit with what we do. And that is a little more outside the box, but still really relevant. That was really smart. Mm-hmm. And I think that's something to learn from too.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we like to see the ones that aren't necessarily transportation specific and see what kind of content we might be able to tie in there. Like July is plastic free month. If anybody needs that, So if you've done anything for us, our erosion control blankets, we recently switched to jute. And so that's where we went plastic free, and we like to talk about that. So yeah, just ideas.
Love that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for sharing. We do have a hand up. Brittany, good to see you. You're muted. Sorry.
Sorry, no, thank you. I'm always nervous about public speaking. So I'm Brittany. Nice to meet you all. I think I met a few of you, but for the most part, do not know anybody here. So I'm with Connecticut DOT, the social media manager. And well, first, before I actually start, I do want to say a few hours ago, my coworker was telling me about the post that Washington State that you guys just showed about road closures and stuff. And she was like, we need to do something like this. And I'm like, absolutely. So if you see something that looks similar but is not, then that's why. Okay, so I've been at this job for about a year, and before that, it wasn't. I don't believe there was no one really like dedicated just to social media. It was more like someone had a job and they also did social media and had a harder time like getting really creative and having time to do fun things with it. So I'm having a lot of fun just kind of like building all the accounts, especially Instagram. And one that I was really excited to do that we posted back in May, and I will try to share my screen in a second, but it was about how, I mean, especially on channels other than Instagram, but there's like always so many negative comments just about like, no matter what, I could post a picture of a cute dog and someone would say it's a waste of taxpayer dollars or something. So there have been a decent amount of comments of people being like, just, oh, get off social media and go do the real construction work and stuff. And I feel like, I mean, not to be stereotyping, but also like a lot of the times the people who do social media aren't the people who should be putting on the hard hats and like doing the construction work. So I kind of made a video that was basically poking fun at myself, saying like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna go do construction work now, and I just kind of like run around a site like banging with a hammer. And let me try to, actually I haven't used Zoom in a while, so oh, there it is, share.
This is totally my fault, by the way. We should probably move these discussions to Teams since most people use that now, but this was an old habits die hard.
Can everybody see that? So that was really fun to do. And I'll also just say, like, it's kind of just the idea that we get to go, I did in the caption, you saw, also inform people about the project site that I was on. So it wasn't totally nonsense. And it's just been really fun to be able to kind of educate the public about things that I know I didn't know about that DOT participates in as well. So like, not related to this video, but we posted about Pollinator Week. I did not know before I started this job all of the environmental protection things that all the DOTs do. So it's just been really fun to be able to show people that.
Another really good point too is it's good to come in sometimes as someone that doesn't know very much about either transportation or what state DOTs do, because you then have the perspective of what do I want to know? What questions would I have or do I have? So you are representative of your target audience most of the time in that case. So that's very smart. I loved that. I thought that was really funny. We have a bunch more folks lined up too. Doug, I think you're next.
Maggie, your point is totally right. Some of us have been doing this way too long and we kind of lose the perspective. So, and I might be one of those people, but you can see me okay?
Yes, we
I
can.
will see if I can share this correctly. We just finished up a very, very big project in an urban area in Phoenix, widening I-10 and the Broadway curve. Can you guys see my screen? Okay. The county here, Maricopa County, takes aerial visuals every few years, and they had some going back to the 50s of this area where the Broadway curve is. And so we thought it would be neat to kind of take those going back decades and showing the progress, and then it'll get here in a moment, and then it flies through with the drone. Some of you may have the same access to aerial photos, videos with your county or state. I also know that the Arizona, our state library, has a searchable database where we can search for things, and we find a lot of use out of that when we try and do old and new and then and now and things like that. Because sometimes it's just not feasible to get people out to all the project sites, especially our state is not as big as some states, Texas, but we are kind of big. So it's not everything is a day trip, right? So we find use with that. Those can be some quick hit things. I also think sometimes it's okay to play the hits. I mean, you don't want to go back to the well too often, but we have this message that we use, that's the temperature, not the speed limit. And I think that's probably 8 or 9 years old. And it was the first week in 2025 when we were going to hit 100 degrees. And the message always does really well with the public. It's the one thing that unites Arizonans together. It's this message. They all like to complain about it too, but you'll see that's from 13 weeks ago when we were going to hit 100. So back in April. And Arizona, we are fortunate and cursed to also be doing our driver's licenses here. So ADOT, the Department of Transportation, we also issue driver's licenses and vehicle registrations. And so we had travel ID, or we call it travel ID, but we had real ID come into effect back in May. And so we wanted to get people into the offices to get their real ID so they wouldn't complain about being turned away by TSA. And one of the neat things our licenses have is you can shine a black light on them and it will show the designs there. You'll see the howling coyote on the front and the Monument Valley and the scorpion on the back. And any Arizonan knows that if you take a black light, you can actually see live scorpions in your yard or out in the wild like that. People are fiercely independent, fiercely defensive about their scorpions. They love to hate them. And we hope that maybe this drove people to get a few more real IDs during that deadline crush back in April and May. So these are some easy things, I think, that are kind of easy to turn around, that really don't involve getting out of the office, even though I love to get out of the office and so do the rest of the people on my team. But that's all I've got.
Awesome, Doug. Thank you. I was gonna say it to get a real ID post to get 15,000 plus likes. That's pretty awesome. That's a cool image, and that's a neat thing that, I don't know how prevalent something like this is, but that image that you have here is really interesting to look at just in and
We've
of
used it
itself.
over and over in many, many different ways and videos because a scorpion is very Arizonan for us. And people here, they can relate to it. And it's neat because we all have the black light in our house when we go, hunting or looking for them.
Didn't know that either.
It's a thing you can do when you come to Arizona.
All right. Awesome. Thank you, Doug.
Yep.
I had Jennifer with her hand up next.
Hello. Hi, thank you. This has been fantastic, and I've have a lot of new ideas. So thank you everyone that has presented before already. I just have a couple of very low effort memes that we've created here at VDOT. I'm with Virginia Department of Transportation. And we sometimes go pretty low tech and just use popular memes that people pretty much recognize. And a lot of them happen during like winter weather when we're trying to tell people the exact same message, like please stay off the roads. Like, I mean, there's only so many ways you can say the same message. So this year we went kind of low tech, and I'm going to try to share my screen. And can you see my screen?
See my face. The video.
Okay, oh my gosh.
Don't do that, Jennifer, please.
I don't know what screen to share. Can you see a screen now?
I see a Teams chat.
Oh gosh. Oh my gosh. I'm so embarrassed.
I did this. This is my fault with Zoom. It's all my
Can you see my screen now?
Perfect.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm so embarrassed. Okay, but this is one of the memes that performed really well this year is we just went with the I bet he's thinking about other women meme from a few years ago. And we changed it to be like, I hope people listen to VDOT and stay off the roads. And this performed really well on our Facebook channel. 500 likes, 118 shares, but we received a lot of really great comments on this one. Kind of praising VDOT for being creative. And then we also did the distracted boyfriend meme as well. Where we were like snowy roads, Virginia drivers, and then like VDOT, us just knowing that we've told people so many times, like, please stay off the roads. So it's us kind of also like poking fun at ourselves too. And on Facebook, it performed really well. 1,700 likes, 432 shares. And I was also impressed with this one because it performed really well on X. 425 likes, 67 shares, which, as we all know, X sometimes can perform, well or not so well. It also performed really well on Instagram as well. And then the last one that I want to share is I think every DOT has used the 12 seasons graphic before, and we used this one just a couple weeks ago, last month in June, when we had the really the kind of the first batch of really hot weather. And this so far has been our top performing post on Instagram with over 12,000 likes on it. And we did a similar post in the spring during kind of like pollen season, reminding drivers like, hey, it's everybody was talking about the pollen. We were like, how can we make pollen transportation related? So we were talking about, use your windshield wipers, use your headlights, information like that. And this post also received over 12,000 likes on Facebook. It was shared almost 8,000 times. So those were just some really low effort posts that we created. Like the distracted boyfriend meme, it was one of those like very early, sleep deprived in the middle of a storm memes that I came up with. These all took just a couple of seconds to maybe a couple minutes to make, but they actually had a really great impact. And these are definitely kind of, ideas that we'll keep sharing. So thank you.
I love that too, because when we talk about budgets sometimes, or we need something on the fly, it's really, really helpful to be able to capitalize on these lower cost, but still really creative that people latch onto. As a Virginia resident myself, I relate very much. And that I think that's hilarious, those posts. Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you.
Next up, I think we have Shad.
Can you hear me? Hi,
We
it's
can hear
Shad with Oklahoma DOT, and I just wanted
you're a
to share.
you're a little fuzzy and quiet. Sorry.
Oh no, okay. Um, I just,
Was that just me?
are
No,
you
it
able
was
to hear me
also,
now?
Sorry, talk again.
Are you able to hear me now?
A little bit better. Still a little quiet.
Okay,
We'll make it work. Don't worry.
sure.
There we go.
So I have a quick post that I wanted to share. This is more optimized for mobile. Let me try sharing this. Can you see the screen?
Yes, we can.
So for this post, I wanted to do something quick, like an engagement post, and um, I thought about having something that is mobile first, in a sense. So this is a press and hold to make this faster type of video, and obviously on desktop, I can't really show that feature, but a lot of people use their phones to look at these videos and scroll through reels. So that is just something to keep in mind when creating content for DOTs in general. And thank you so much for other agencies for liking this post. It was great.
I like the discussion of like using that feature because I don't think that we've ever talked about it before, like when to use it, why we would want people to use it, how effective it is. So I think that's interesting that you talked about this in particular because I think that's pretty neat and something we haven't talked about before.
Yep.
Thank you. All right, next up, I think Adam had his hands up.
Yep. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, we can.
Good. Okay. I'm Adam Shen. I'm videographer for Maryland State Highway Administration. So we're part of MDOT as a whole. I'm actually going to tag team Jacob Brown's in here. He's our social media manager. Just wanted to talk about a few safety posts that we've been working on as far as promoting work zone safety, not only for our customers, but also for our workers as well. So let me see if I can share. Screen one and share with sound. Everybody see that?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
It's yep, it looks like a PowerPoint screen.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm going to try to switch back real quick. PowerPoint. Go over. So for Work Zone Safety Week, we actually had a Take Your Child to Work Day event. So as part of that, we shot a little video with employees' children that came in. So we did a work zone safety video just for not only the parents that work there, but any other family members that work for State Highway Administration. I don't know if the playback's going to work very well, but let's see if I can do this.
Behind every project, we are all connected. My dad works here. My mom works here. Glad over here.
Work zone safety is everyone's responsibility.
Stay alert, read the signs,
avoid distractions,
slow down, and move over if possible.
To give workers an extra buffer lane.
Respect the zone so we all get home.
So just a quick thing we did for social media, but then we also
Behind every
ended up using it and pitched to the media. So Charlie Gischler, our Deputy Director of Communications, was able to pitch this to the media, and we got it on our local NBC affiliate, ABC affiliate, and 3 radio stations, one being 105.7 The Fan, which is the biggest sports station in Maryland. But yeah, it worked very well. 11,000 views, 400 reactions, mostly positive. And then I'm going to switch over to Jacob. Jacob, I can control this for you. So whenever you're ready to jump in, feel free to unmute.
Hello.
We got you.
There we go. Hey, good afternoon. Sorry for the technical difficulties. I tried to use a headset and it wasn't trying to work. But yeah, so today we last year around the heat index, we actually went out to one of the work zones after one of our crews just finished up, and we did a quick video with them, basically provided water and made sure that we emphasized the point of making sure you're staying hydrated, even though, you know, we're outside doing work, construction, whatever the case may be, playing, just making sure that members of the community are being cognizant of the temperature and making sure they're staying hydrated. And we shot a quick video just so that our team members can kind of be the face of delivering the message to the public as well. And you're going to hit play, Adam.
There you go, sir. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Sir? Thank you. No, thank you guys. I appreciate y'all being there in the heat. I know it's tough out there. It's awful. Appreciate your determination to get the job done. I know MDOT does also. Just make sure you're out there taking frequent breaks, hydrate. If you feel, any uneasy or lightheaded, dizzy, please take a break from our AC vehicles. We greatly appreciate your value. You are just the ground crew for being MDOT here and getting things done. And I encourage you guys to stay out of the heat and take care and be safe. Thank you.
This video ended pretty well. Definitely got people's attention, and our team members, they love seeing themselves on our social media as well. And it's kind of cool to see retired members of the community go in and talk in the comments, and just kind of encourage people to make sure that they're staying safe and being hydrated. And overall, we had 41,000 views, 238 reactions, and 36 shares. And we normally try to run this now in a rotation whenever we have a super high heat day. So a day like today, we're in the hundreds with a 105 index. So things like that. So thank you.
Thank you guys. I love to see when employees are featured and stuff. I think especially folks that maybe aren't on the comms team who are part of, sometimes you have to throw one of your own in to do something. It's nice to recognize the folks out doing the work, like the construction and maintenance work, because I wonder though, does anybody ever get pushback on that? Like folks saying, no, I don't want to be in this. That would be an interesting conversation to have too. Okay, next, I'm going to butcher this. Is it Dacre? Did I pronounce this correctly? Peter? Dacre?
Nope, Dacre.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
Good.
Acre with a D. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
All right. So I'm Dacre. I'm a part of the New Hampshire Department of Transportations. I'm the communications specialist here. I work with Jen, our public information officer. And so I kind of started back in November, and I'm gonna see if I can share my screen. And in January, we had a snowstorm. And I'm gonna see if I can get this here. Hopefully get this one right. No. Are you seeing, I don't know where it's.
We see a car mirror and with the snowflake in it.
Yes. So we tried a couple of posts where it was sort of like an A/B testing, where on Friday we put this post out here where it just said Saturday morning weather update, heads up, New Hampshire. Tomorrow morning's forecast calls for chilly temperatures and potential slippery roads due to snow around 2 p.m. This post, unfortunately, it got maybe like 31 likes, 2 comments, and 11 shares. And then the next day, I decided we were going to try to mix it up a little bit, and we went with this, which we turned it into a Gen Alpha language, and we said, roads are slippery, sus this morning, locked in alert. It's giving ick vibes this morning, fam. Temps are chilly, and the roads might be on their frosty Ohio Mew. Stay woke and locked in. And then I have survival tips for the goats. And this got over 4.3 million views. We actually made the national news and also local news as well, which also helped our following. So since then, we've been kind of working a lot with different memes. Another thing that we kind of created was Muppets, sort of for our different updates for traffic updates, where we'll have like a guy in the office on asphalt and taking it out to our maps, which will have different little Muppets there giving the news. And then we also tried out some other different fun things as well. We had some posters along with a couple of movie things. So kind of trying to be more creative, but also getting the message out there for people as well, which has been very successful for us. Yeah, and then just a few of the things we've been working on here. Yeah, it just shows. But yeah, other than that, I think another thing I discovered was a thing called a IMG Flip, which is a good meme library. Also, one thing I think I struggle with is trying to get finding ways to get the crews involved to try to help out with sending us stuff. So I don't know if there's like any tips on doing that. And then we've been using Hootsuite for a while for when we do our posts, but for some reason it's been kind of acting kooky lately. So I don't know if people are using Meta for the online posts or if there's something else we should be trying to do from when we're getting doing our social media stuff. So I'm just gonna end it there and ask that question, I guess.
This is hilarious. I love that you found something that worked so well, and then you have a plan in place to do this sort of thing moving forward. And I just that this is another one of those you have creative ideas and they're not too terribly difficult to implement, but boy, do they make an impact. Those numbers were crazy. And as for put in the chat for Dacre what you might use instead of Hootsuite, or if you have some tips with Hootsuite, if it's being crazy. I know we at ASHTO use Sprout Social, and they've had some new features recently that have been really helpful for us. But yeah, anybody else? I see some in the chat. More Sprout Social. More let's follow each other kind of thing. That's great. That's the point of this. I'm seeing on a lot of the comments of screenshots you all are showing that we're seeing other DOTs comment and on each other's posts, which I think is exactly the point of conversations like this too. All right. Awesome, Dacre. Thank you. And welcome to TransComm.
Oh, thank you.
All right. I see one more hand, and it's Nick. Hey, Nick.
Hey, everyone. I'm Nick Jordan. I'm with the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet. And the one post I want to share with you guys here today is one that is pretty recent. Can everyone see it? I don't know if it's up yet. Let's see.
Yes, we can.
Okay, perfect. So this post was essentially one to kind of combat the scam text that I'm sure a lot of us are experiencing right now. And my thought process when making this was, okay, we're getting a lot of comments coming in right now of people who unfortunately were falling for it. Because if you see on the bottom right here, it's got a very identical web address to our Kentucky site. So what I decided to do was create a post that essentially broke it down step by step. So essentially telling people, hey, here's when you're looking at this scam text here, here's all the little nuances, an email address as the website, not calling the department by the right name. We don't collect violation fees. We don't even have this code. And in the bottom corner over here, you see we have the information of where people to push to. And it got a good amount of reaction on Facebook, but what I really saw was a lot of reaction from the community. So a lot of our local news stations in Kentucky picked this story up. Our governor even brought it up during a press conference and talked about it for a couple minutes there too to kind of get the word out. And we also had various newspapers as well that kind of helped us get the word out about this. And our comments were really great. We had a lot of people saying, yep, I see this, I've gotten this text too, or thank you for sharing this. You know, I would not have known otherwise. So it might not be the flashiest thing, but it definitely was something that we got good engagement on. And it's something pretty easy to help push people to, you know, basically know how to, quote, spot the scam. So that's pretty much all I had, just pretty short and simple on that.
Again, I know that a lot of states are dealing with this issue. Probably every state is dealing with this issue. Even states that don't do tolling are having these issues. And I think that's a really great way to highlight this because, you know, it's hard. So no matter what you do, people are still clicking on this. But I love pointing out all the different ways to spot these kinds of messages to protect yourself. So really, really helpful. Thank you. Any more hands? Okay, look at that. Perfect timing. I'm going to hand things back over to Kenna.
Thanks, Maggie. Wow, I may or may not have been taking screenshots while we were doing this webinar. There was some fantastic content, a lot of creativity, and thank you everyone for sharing. It only helps, our whole group do better getting out these safety messages in a creative way. So thank you, thank you. This webinar has been recorded. We'll get a link on transportation.org/communications within the next few days. And just a reminder, as Maggie had mentioned, 66 days to Chicago. So get ready to hit it and be there for the big TransComm webinar. So ready for that. Do want to also say for August, we'll be announcing our date and our topic for that soon. So stay tuned there. And as always, on behalf of our subcommittee and TransComm, thanks for joining us today, and we'll see you next month. Bye, everyone.